It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful creatures. Thank you so much for tuning in and for helping us kickstart a brand new year. And as we enter this brand new year, our resident tech expert, Bryan Smith, joins us to unpack 4 technology terms that you and I need to know in 2018. Brother, all the best for the new year.
Thank you very much, you as well.
We love you guys because you keep us right on the fringe, and I think we don't want to look like fools when we're having a conversation with like-minded tech experts. So we're going to give some buzzwords this year. And I'm looking at these, and I don't know what half of them mean, but this first one, I think I've kind of got an idea. Artificial intelligence. What exactly is artificial intelligence? Because I think we're going to hear this a lot in 2018.
Absolutely. So I think it's a very scary term to most people, and it needn't be. If you consider with most software or apps we use in our day-to-day, it typically requires that a person input something to achieve something or get some form of reward or function. Artificial intelligence is really about training software or a mixture of software and hardware to act and think like a human mind. So, for example, you might use an artificial intelligence to recognize objects in an image, to translate text to speech, to speak as a human would, or even to make decisions. And not only can you use this kind of technology now on your smartphone, it's also what's empowering researchers to process huge amounts of data and also come to decisions.
I'm glad that you said that because, you know, I think we've seen more advancements in kind of mapping out our genealogy and those sorts of things thanks to artificial intelligence, but, you know, there's nothing scary about that at all. Controlling drones, flying weapons around the world, nothing scary at all. Then, of course, this one really jumped out for me. Okay, I think we know what the internet is, okay, but what is the Internet of Things? This is a term that's kind of popping up more and more.
Indeed. Now, if you consider, we use our smartphones or desktop computers to access and communicate over the internet, but the appliances and other electronic devices in our homes are really stuck in the Stone Age. And the Internet of Things really describes how a lot of these electronic devices are now connecting and communicating over the internet, and a term which is closely linked to this is called the smart home. So in the future, even now, you might have a car you could boot up or start over your smartphone, or if you're arriving home after a long day of work, you could signal your internet-connected kettle to boil as you're stepping through the door.
Run the bath, set your towel temperature. It's there. If you're really rich, you're probably already living like that. That's the basic term. Internet of Things, I like that. That's really, really going to stick. So Bitcoin, we know about. It's just exploded over the last couple of months. If you haven't heard it at least 3 times a day, something's wrong. Blockchain has now been added to that conversation. What is blockchain?
Blockchain really, at its fundamental level, is a way to scale up trust. If you consider 2,000 years ago, if we lived in a small village, you and I would be able to trade or exchange value face to face.
Thanks for saying that. I've got a trustworthy face. Thanks, Bryan. Thanks,
no, definitely. So if you consider, as societies grew larger, that trust became difficult to maintain, and we invented middlemen like banks and other institutions to facilitate that. Blockchain really is a way to scale that and remove middlemen. So it's a network of computers all around the world that can exchange value, and they use what's called cryptography, which is really complex mathematical equations to verify and secure transactions. And each transaction gets its own unique identifier, meaning that it cannot be hacked, it cannot be edited in the past, it can only be appended to or added to now in the present, in the future.
Artificial intelligence now has our money as well. Is that basically what you're saying? That's great. Then gaming, multimedia, virtual reality, and augmented reality. Very quickly, what are the differences between those two?
Sure. So there are 2 technologies with both equally exciting potentials. Virtual reality, and the trick is in the name, is where one would use a headset to interact entirely in a virtual world.
That's blown up as well now.
Precisely, yeah. Especially with gaming. Yeah. Augmented reality is overlaying digital elements, pixels, images over the real world. So you'd still be able to interact with your surroundings as they are with an enhanced amount of data around you. And both of these will not only be used in gaming, but also in commercial and private uses as well.
I don't know if you can see the vein in the top of my head throbbing now. Dude, thank you so much. I always feel like whenever I talk to you, I have this look on my face. Because it's absolutely amazing. It's going to be a mind-blowing year. Thank you so much to Bryan, and be sure to let us know which topics excite you most on ExpressoShow.com. We'd love to discuss them with our expert panel.